And we're live. How you doing, Jeff?
Doing really well. You've got a haircut.
I do.
Finally. What was the experience like?
It was kind of weird because they had the mask on. They didn't do the beard trim, which I kind of like. But yeah, it was good. I had to sit out in a car park and wait for a text to go in. But no, overall it was great. Actually, getting a haircut finally. It's been a couple months here, so yeah.
I just given up on it. I just pulled out the clippers and I don't know when I'll be able to do that stuff again. But the beard, as long as you're looking at me straight on, it's fine. But I don't know how to. Yeah. Anyway.
Yep. It's tough being a Viking.
Oh, hilarious!
Awesome.
Right. And this holiday there. Are you guys
yes.
Just taking it easy today? I take it.
Yeah. We did a boardwalk this morning. We're going out for a bit of a drive this afternoon. Not sure where yet, but no, it's good. Just cleared out a couple of emails and I'm pretty much done with work after this. So that's nice. Apart from anything you need, of course.
Right. Well, our holiday was last week, so it's not like we're not getting one or didn't get one. So cool.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Well, it's Monday, so that means MarketWatch Monday, even on holidays.
Even on holidays.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Commerce stops for no one.
For sure.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I'll sort of just set it up here. So people who are just joining us, every Monday, we report on all new e-commerce businesses that are listed for sale. So not just ours, but all of them. And we focus on businesses selling physical products with an e-commerce sales channel. And we search worldwide anything publicly available for sale above the $1 million price point. That's the benchmark. So currently we are tracking 89 active listings for sale above the $1 million price point. 37 additional deals are under offer, they're pending. So there's a lot of activity on the market. Last week.
Wait, what? Yeah. One sec. Before we go into that, that's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
89. I mean, we talk about this every week, but 89 active listings. So if your business is over $1 million, if you're trying to sell it for above $1 million, you're almost competing with 100 other businesses. Mm-hmm. That's pretty insane. There's a lot of options right now. There's a lot on the market.
And of course, lots of people think their business is a unicorn, but the fact is that investors have a lot of choice out there. At the same time that they're evaluating your business, they're looking at 89 other options. So how do you stand out? So or stand up to these other businesses. So that's interesting. Yeah,
for sure.
So this past week, there were 3 new listings between 1.1 million and 2.5 million, and they're quite different. Clothing, home and kitchen, and a variety store, ranging from 3 years old to 27 years in business. And the profit margins ranged from 16% up to 40%. So the median margin this week is 27.5%. And we will put links to them in the group. The group, yes? No.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
In the group.
and last thing here before we talk about a specific deal is that the median multiple is down this week, coming in at 2.5 times. Rather, last week was at like 5. So we're down this week with these 3 new ones that have come to market. And so there was a specific one that you wanted to, or I guess anything more to add to that before you set up the specific one that you wanted to chat about?
Yeah, so I guess we talk about margin a lot, and part of this is because there's so many deals on the market. This is one thing that investors really want. They want a high margin business that's a great ROI. So they're looking for the ROI of the multiple of buying your cash flow, but also they're looking for a profitable way to deploy capital into the inventory, into your stock, right? Your product suite. So the higher that net margin is, the better the ROI is on capital invested. That's why we highlight margin. And I can tell you that we've talked about this quite a lot, but over the past 12 months, the businesses that have actually sold, they've been hired up to 30% as an average net margin. The ones that actually sell, which is proving the point that investors want. They want to buy a cash machine, basically. That's what they want. So yeah, I just thought I'd highlight the margin piece there before we go into this one deal that we're talking about. Anything else to add on that, Nate, before we jump into this one?
No, just thanks for that further explanation there. Anytime we can sort of expand on that point, I think the better makes sense. You want to make a cash machine and they want to buy a cash machine. So make sure it's a cash machine.
Right, exactly. And that's really what you are building is a cash machine. Awesome. That's why people are jumping over themselves to buy them. All right, so this week we have a listing to talk about. I love it, Jeff, whenever a traditional business broker has an e-commerce listing. Why is that?
I don't know. Why is that? Tell me. I'm curious.
They always misprice them. It's either way too high or way too low because they have no idea about the value. They haven't read our data, mate. How disappointing.
Yeah, that is too bad because it's funny on my notepad here. It's funny that you mentioned that because I have price ? Circled on my on my notepad here. So we'll see if we come to like the same kind of interpretation of this.
Yeah, absolutely. So this deal is in the home and kitchen space. It's listed by a traditional broker. The revenue on it is just under 1.2 million. SDE is claimed at 450. And they've listed it at 1.1 million and change, which is a 2.5 times multiple.
Or 1 times revenue.
1 times revenue, exactly. A 1 times revenue deal. But the margin on this thing, the claimed margin is
40%. That's 40. What I have here. I was like 40%. How are they only asking for 2.5 times here? Like this doesn't. Something's not adding up here.
Yeah. So
especially since they have diversified sales channels.
Exactly. That's another interesting piece of this deal is that it's 11% through their website, 60% through Amazon, and 29% through their Etsy store. So that's pretty interesting. Diversified, super 60, margins. 40s.
That's great.
Yeah, this is totally mispriced. Now, for full disclosure, this isn't our deal, and we haven't seen the deal, right? So we're just surface level here is what we're talking.
The one thing that keeps coming to mind here to me about why it might be priced the way it is because of the product itself and what the product is designed to do. Like they're talking about soap dispensers. Yeah. So, and then they go on and say sales exploding in 2020. Well, obviously everybody's been told to wash their hands 500 times a day. So so what we don't know here is that if, sales in 2020 are exploding because of the foundation that they've laid in their 3 years in business, or is it a result of they're trying to cash in right now on a spike in sales, and that spike is going to be met with an equally sharp decline, as things progress here. So it either seems like they want to sell now because they're not confident that this trajectory is going to continue, and they want to offload while the demand is high. That's the only thing that sort of comes to my mind here, is that would be the reason why it might be priced the way it is. I mean, in conjunction with it being priced wrong, maybe. Yes. But what we don't know the history of the year over year of the sales pattern. They haven't really described anything here other than that sales are exploding in 2020. Great, good for you. Have they been on an incline, or was this business neglected last year and all of a sudden they caught a wave? So there might be sort of more, as we peel back some of the layers there, but that's just a guess, a complete guess, just by looking at it being priced the way it is, that maybe there's, maybe there's a reason why they're not going into detail in the off the top here about their, growth pattern year over year.
Yeah, exactly. So that's definitely something to look at. And that could also be on the margin side as well. Maybe they've been able to put their prices up recently and hey, now we've got 40% net margin, but actually
Yeah.
in a regular day to day, it's not. Or they're miscalculating something, right? Of course, you want to diligence every deal you look at if you're on the buy side. But yeah, this is some interesting stuff. On the surface, though, this is definitely worth taking a look at. I mean, wow, this is pretty interesting. I dare say it would be able to. It doesn't mention it here, but I'd say you'd be able to use SBA finance for this as well. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. So unless there's commingled income, which would be a bit of a nightmare to pull apart. But at that multiple, if you could get SBA debt under this would be a pretty interesting one, pending further diligence, of course.
Yeah, especially if you were looking at any kind of like any products like soaps or creams or lotions and that kind of thing.
Yes, it might be a
great
nice add-on. Yeah, absolutely, nice add-on. Or you could then start selling other sanitary type products to those customers. What else is that customer buying before, during, and after? And you've got the customer detail here. 11% of sales coming through the website, and I believe Etsy gives you all the customer data as well, unlike Amazon. So you'd have a ton of customer data here to work with, which would be really cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Question though here, it says something interesting under competition. It says normal competition with other similar e-commerce sites. Great. But then it goes on to say, this site is a boutique retailing site and not an opening price point operation. Now, I sort of take that to mean that they've got some kind of artistic or design quality about them where they're just not competing with the masses on this one. And but it's I like how he's sort of carefully worded that.
It's also probably that they're selling a lot higher, so it's not a commoditized product, even though it is.
Well, I should say so, with a 40% margin.
Yes. Yeah. So,
but has it always been that way, or did they just pull some strings to prepare for a sale?
Exactly. And something investors always ask us when we have high margin or high priced products, brands compared to the competition, they're always saying, well, what's the history of that been? What do you think it would take for a competitor to come in and compete? So on that topic alone, actually, who's actually creating the product? Because if they're that unique and different, is it someone on the team that's creating that? Is it the owner of the business? Are they going to keep building, keep creating for you? Or are you going to have to become an artist and figure out how to make these things? So there's like the investors say, there is a bit of hair on this deal potentially, but the bones look interesting from just the listing here.
Yeah, it sure does. But something's not adding up. You're right.
Yes.
Either it's just that he priced it wrong because he's not in the e-commerce world, or there's something behind the scenes there where they've sort of caught a wave, or perhaps some of their year over year doesn't look so enticing anymore. But a 2.5x on a 40% profit margin right off the hop doesn't quite seem right. But maybe it's not an SBA deal. I don't know. Like maybe there's another factor there that might be limiting the buyer pool a little bit.
There is also a warehouse space. So it's a 2,000 square foot space with 200 feet of office. So maybe if you have to take over that lease, and maybe there's some staff working in that. Does it talk about staff?
It just says three employees, but that might include well, I don't know, it might include that. I don't know what they're including in that. They haven't really expanded on that at all.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Anyway, definitely worth a look, that one. So we'll drop that link in the group. If you're watching this outside of our Facebook group, I'll also put a link below this video here to sign up for MarketWatch Monday, and you'll get the links to all of these listings that we talk about each and every week. So before I get Jeff to do his usual sign off, if you are thinking what makes my business worth more or what makes it worth less, than the deals we're talking about on a weekly basis, head on over to fbascorecard.com. This is a pretty cool resource we've put together. It's a checklist basically for you to measure your business compared to the businesses that have sold over the last 12 months. It's a PDF download, and there's also a video with me walking you through how to think about your business using this as a guide. So that's a cool resource. And Jeff, if people want to reach out, how can they do that?
Right, my standard outro, like stay classy, San Diego. Yeah, so exactly. Sales at the FBAbroker.com comes straight to my inbox, and it's best email to use, easiest email to use. And yeah, certainly let me know what your plans are if you're planning on exiting either now or in the future, or just kind of want to know where your business sort of stands on the market today. Absolutely, yeah. Send me an email, sales at the FBAbroker.com, and we'll arrange a time to have a call and go from there.
Awesome. Well, I think you froze a little bit there, but that's okay. You're back now.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Good thing I wasn't scratching my nose or something there.
Exactly. Well, awesome. So yeah, reach out if you want to talk about your business, and we'll help you with that. And yeah, I guess you could sign off with "Stay Classy Vancouver" or something. That'd be fun.
Yeah, again, I don't want to be limiting anybody here.
Exactly. Stay classy.
That's Ron Burgundy's. He's claimed that one. I'll find my own one of these days.
Yeah, I like it. That's awesome. All right, dude. Well, enjoy the rest of your Monday, and everyone watching, have a great week ahead. If you're in the States, enjoy the Memorial Day weekend, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Sounds good. Bye for now.